It's always good to work with Bill. Oh, we were buddies in L.A., and he had written some books, and he was currently doing a movie called John Goldfarb, Please Come Home, a comedy. And we met and had a lot of fun. We dated a lot of the same dancers. And then he did the Blake Edwards movie. You know, our friendship continued, my goodness, when The Exorcist became the #1 best-selling novel. I remember we were in Lake Arrowhead having lunch, and I said, Bill, can you believe this? You've got the #1 novel in the whole country. Are you kidding? You know, and I even kidded him. I said, do you know what this is going to do for you with women? You know, you can go to a party and just sit there and say nothing, and they're all going to be trying to figure out, what is he thinking? How I'd like, you know. I said, this is incredible. Anyway, we had a lot of fun with it because it was, you know, people associated Bill with comedies, and to have a giant #1 novel on a very serious theme was something else. And of course, he did the movie. And I must give it to him. He trotted me in there to meet Billy Friedkin because he wanted me to do the music for that movie. And he did his best, but Friedkin was more in charge, as most directors are. And you know, Friedkin had his own ideas, which didn't turn out too well for Lalo Schifrin because, you know, he threw Lalo's score out, which was awful. And the way he did it, but and then he scored it with records. Water Under the Bridge, and so our relationship continued. And then he came to me when it was a go, and then from Budapest he communicated with me. It's a rather complex movie. You have comedy and you have a very serious side. And you have Stacy, who is a very complicated character, just a little bit off, just the way everybody was just a little bit off. And so my approach in the music was to introduce a kind of a beautiful abstract melody, but the accompaniment had a rub. It was just, you know, a little discordant. It started out just fine, then it ended up with a little discordant rub. Just to remind you, this is kind of a nice melody, but something isn't 100% right. I think in this case, less was more. There was a lot of dialogue, and important dialogue, and I think Bill did the right thing to leave that in the open and let those characters develop. In fact, I had to be really careful not to make this too dark, because it just had a light, poignant, kind of crazy feeling, and yet there was that dark undercurrent. So we try to approach it in that manner, and that's why it wasn't, the theme wasn't dark, and you know, it was abstractly beautiful with a little shoulder, a little rub there, and for the most part, that's where we tried to stay until it got very serious, and then we got a little more serious.
He's dead. He gave up his life.
It was such a pleasure working with him, and you know, he's very spiritual and funny, and yeah, I just, you know, I had to learn something as a composer. When I was in the record business, I did my thing. I didn't listen to, you know, I did it the way I saw it. When I worked in films, I realized this isn't my dream. This is Bill's dream. So I have to really understand what he's trying to do, what emotions he wants to show up, and do my best to help him get that effect.
San Antone, it's really good to see you. It's been a while, but you've been on my mind.
I wrote that song and it really had nothing to do with the picture, but Bill heard it and just fell in love with the idea. You know, it's a very poignant song and a very pretty song, and he thought that with Cutshaw, just kind of thinking about coming home and his background, it would just make some magic, set a melancholy mood as he stood there and looked out the window, just kind of set up a mood with by using this song, which for whatever reason spoke to Bill, and he thought it was something he'd like to use.
One day I come back to San Antone.
It was written for a movie. Yeah, with William Devane, Rolling Thunder. Yeah, and there it played a very important part because they were on the plane, and of course the band was there, and the people with their wristbands welcoming these, prisoners, MIAs, back into the town, and so it was playing as they looked outside the plane, and basically the song is all about San Antone, you've been on my mind, but a lot of things have happened. I just hope enough of San Antone and what I left there is still there. I always loved the song, and the fact that he loved it as well, sure. I think a good song has many lives. I was very happy with the score, and very happy with the picture, and that I could contribute, and that Bill liked whatever I did, so that definitely had a happy ending.
It's been a while, but you've been on my mind. I've seen your rolling hills and winding river, so clear that I could almost make them mine. I can almost see the old Bandera highway stretching out toward old Mexico, and the times we used to walk down by the river. Now it seems like such a long, long time ago.